Hello, viewers. Welcome back to the podcast, JF. We are adding more flavor. It's Spiritual Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time to watch, listen, and we're hoping you'll be encouraged and given hope. Today we have Lihle Mazia again. Well, she's practically family now because she's been here a million times. Welcome back, Lihle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are happy to have you back. You are family, and we know we'll be having a lot more of you, especially after this segment.
I hope so.
Yeah, this is home. Well, viewers, we decided to just look into a couple of things today, talking about the church and us as Christians, I'd say, or just general people. Lihle has a story to share. We'll just dive into it. The Bible says we are all sinners and we've fallen short. So we are looking at that. What then happens once you've fallen short? What then happens once, I'd say, you've done a mistake or whatever? How does the church take care of that? How are you affected even your spiritual part? So Lihle will just dive into her story and her experience. But maybe before that, just give us a background on who Lihle Mazia is.
Okay. So, Lihle, raised in a Christian home. My mom is a preacher. I say that all the time. And I have sisters. I don't have brothers. And I grew up in church, my mother's church. Then when at some point she allowed me to go and find a church that I liked, So I got to pick my church at 18, and I've been there since. I'm 33 now, so it's like I've been there for a very long time. In my church, I was very active over the years. I served as a worship leader and for a brief period, music director. So yeah, I was pretty active. I wrote songs in the church. I led worship during our conferences, just besides our normal Sunday services. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what I used to do, and hopefully I'm gonna get back into doing that at some point, because it's a bit difficult right now. Last year I had a baby, and so I'm still navigating that.
So tell me, being in the forefront of everything, what pressures did that bring?
It's a lot of pressure. It's terrible. I remember that my pastor used to say to me something to the effect that people are looking up to you and stuff like that. And that would upset me all the time, because I felt like I didn't ask for this. I just maybe felt a call of God on my life, and I gravitated into what I was doing, So every time that she would say that, and I got reprimanded for certain behaviors, using the line that people are looking up to me, there are people that want to be me, stuff like that. It really, really used to upset me, because I felt like people shouldn't look up to me. Like, can they just leave me alone, and just let me be? But yeah, so there was a lot of pressure to get things right, and all the time. And I'd be the first one to say that I didn't get things right. I don't know, maybe it's the way I am, or maybe it's because there was so much pressure to get things right. And also because of what I did, like when you're a worship leader or maybe even a preacher in church, I think there's a lot of pressure to grow and to sort of fix, like make yourself better, So I used to really try to work on those things, be in the word, and stuff like that. It was just a lot of pressure so that I would grow, and people could see also that I've grown, It was a lot of pressure. in every single way. And every single time that you make a mistake, people know about it. It's not about whether you want them to know or people just know that they messed up again, and then that becomes who you are. People label you according to that. And I feel like for a very long time, I lived by that label. Utsike, no, I generally mess up. It's just the kind of thing I do. And I try to make it like own it as my identity so that people couldn't use that against me. I remember one time, again, I'd done something wrong and everybody knew about it. I went to get my nails done. And then they were talking about me at the nail. Yeah, they're actually talking about me. Like, this girl from that church, apparently, and the story wasn't exactly what it was, like it's gone through, the grapevine and everything. But they were actually talking about me. And it made me feel bad. They didn't know it's me. So I just sat there and I listened to everything that they were saying. And yeah, it's just a lot of pressure. Yeah. And then with that pressure, there's a lot of shame when you don't get things right. So yeah, it's just.
Now, how would you cope with that?
You know, um, I found unhealthy ways. I just want to be honest. I found very unhealthy ways to cope. Um, there was a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, and I want to put this out there. I'm not trying to blame the church for anything. It is what it is. I had certain things that I needed to do, I needed to deliver. So, at times, I remember a time where I just felt like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I really can't do this. So I just went, I would go and sit in a bad place. So yeah, I would just go there and hope that someone will see me and then someone will tell my pastors, then my pastors are gonna fire me, you know, because I just wanted out. But maybe at the time I didn't have the language or I didn't have the guts or the courage to say, I really don't want to do this anymore. So I felt trapped in my own life, and the most painful thing about that is that ever since I was a kid, I've loved singing. It was clear early on in my life that I was gifted, in that. I used to write songs, and my mom she would support that. I have a very supportive family and everything. And that's kind of the role that I took on, even in church. But then there were expectations that went beyond just writing music or singing. Now it went to how are you living. And I I I said this. I feel okay saying this because I remember once having a conversation with my pastor, and I told her that for me, sometimes, a lot of times, sin or the wrong things help me to be able to function better in church. Do you understand what I mean? Because it's like when you're in church, it was really unhealthy. I just want to say that. And it's not anyone's fault or anything, but I'm just, being honest. You'll go and you're supposed to deliver and then you're managing people. People don't want to do what you're saying. People don't care, about you, or they don't care that you have a job to do. You're there feeling like, guys, we need to rehearse, and then people are like, no, I'm not coming. There's just so much stuff that's happening, and your emotions are wreck. There's uh, an expectation from your leaders, your pastors, to deliver. Like if we have a conference, the music has to be a certain way. Things have to look a certain way. And then that's the pressure that you have. And then as middle management, you're trying to manage people that are like, yeah, but I can't come. So you're really frustrated. Yeah, just find a way. So because of the pressure that I felt, you know, coming from the top, which is not, I don't think they were out to pressurize me into anything. They just needed certain things delivered, you know. And I don't think the people that I was managing were out there thinking, you know, I just want to make Lisha's life hell, you know. No, I just think it's life. So what I would do, I would create a space, you know, where I would feel celebrated and loved, a space where there was no expectation of me except for me to be who I am, you know. And that space hasn't always been a godly space, you know. So I would create environments like that. And because I knew that, okay, let's say I'm singing or whatever, you know, maybe it's not going to go well or it's going to go well, you know, it's fine. I can take the criticism even from anyone because I know that after this, I have a place to go. I have maybe a person or whatever it is, you know, that speaks to me, that celebrates me, you know, and it's going to be fine. So that's what I mean by I created unhealthy ways to cope with it. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I would know how to cope if I was in that place again, you know, yeah. So that's what happened.
Wow, that's deep. Now, as you continue in church, whatnot, then um, you fall pregnant. Tell me about that. What happened? How the church handled things? What, all that.
You know, it's funny that that wasn't even the worst thing that's you know
Yeah.
ever happened, but maybe it was the thing that everyone saw.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
maybe even people that didn't know anything about me or whatever. You know, it's the kind of thing that you can't hide.
Yeah.
So when I was pregnant, I remember that when I discovered, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. I just went into the space where I didn't know, and um, I just thought. I remember I told a friend of mine, and she said, I feel like you need to deal with this first, like in your heart and everything, before you let people in on what's going on, even your pastors, you know. And I suck at secrets, and I just generally suck at those things, you know.
Yeah.
So one day, because I wasn't singing at the time, like I'd stopped singing because I was just tired of that kind of life, you know. I was just done with it. That's when I fell pregnant. And it's funny that at that time, I was even considering, Uti, maybe at some point I'll go back into doing what I believe God called me to do, you know. But then there are results, you know. So I remember that my pastor called me and he spoke to me about, you know, I'd like for you to come back and sing, you know, and stuff like that.
That's before the pregnancy. Oh.
That's when I was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
So I knew I was pregnant. No one else knew, you know. So I was like, yeah, I was kind of planning on it until, so I told him, you know. And I remember that he asked about what the plan was, you know, whether I was planning on getting married, you know, to my boyfriend at the time, or like what was the plan, you know. And then at that time, I had I had a lot of shame, you know, shame. Not people will say things like, "Why didn't you feel shame when you were busy having sex?" Yabon, you felt shame, you know, but it was a personal shame, like yabo. But now the world, it's out there. People know. Go say, yeah, yabonin. Bantu can sing up a storm, you know, and go and have sex. things like that. And he asked me, and I was like, yeah, we've spoken about it, blah, blah, blah. But I was in a place where I really felt like I, I need to correct this, like I need to make this look better. So I felt like, yeah, we should get married. I was open to that. And I thank God that my partner was like, no, I'm not going to get married. I'm not ready. I wasn't ready for this, yes. But I made certain decisions that got me there. But I'm not going to get married just because. Yeah, well, I'm going to pay the price for this. So yeah, that's what happened. And then I struggled with that. I struggled with that a lot. And then we fought a lot, because I felt like, Fana, we've been wrong. Let's try and make it right. Like at first, I really felt like because if we get married, then we're going to be accepted again. We'll be a family. It's going to look right. So people in church are going to judge us, but it's going to be like, no, but they fixed it. Sebashadile, uyayibona mfele. So yeah, that's how I felt. But my partner was like, no, I'm not coming, Shem, to that party. And I thank God that he felt like that because, no.
Amen.
Like, no, he was right. We were not ready. And then at the time, I was desperate to be accepted again, to be seen I don't know. I just wanted back into being loved again. And, that was my perception. So, okay, I couldn't get married and whatever. And so what had to happen then is that my pastor said we needed to tell the church so that to sort of clear the air, so that people know what's going on and everything. It's not really standard practice in my church to do that. But I think it was because of the role. Like I'm in the front line and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm willing to do that. And I want to be honest with you. The only reason I said I was willing to do that was because I felt like if I do that, are you going to love me again? Are you going to accept me again? Am I going to still be, that girl that you want? That is why I did it. I was in a very bad place, emotionally and whatever. So I wasn't thinking right. So time went on, and then we arranged it for some Sunday that, okay, this is it's gonna happen today. And then I remember very well that I was asked how I wanted it done. And I was like, any way you feel,
Works for you.
that's what I said. Because I was willing to do anything to show that I was very, very sorry. And I feel like that's not okay. I was willing to do whatever it took for them to, take me back. It's not like they rejected me but do you understand? So on the Sunday, I think my pastor read a verse about, like you said, falling short or some others who fornicate. I don't remember. My head was spinning. And then I went up on stage. Then he was like, yeah, there's something that our sister wants to tell us. It was one of the most horrible experiences I've ever had. And I was like, I greet you, saints, in the name of Jesus. And you know what? That day is the day I popped. Like, women, when you're pregnant, you have a day when you just pop. Like, it's like how overnight almost. Yeah, so I was like, yo, no, everyone can see. So I went and I said, I apologized to the church, for putting their name in disrepute, things like that. And then I got prayed for, and then I went to sit down, my pastor encouraged people to just stand by me, and we support our own and everything. I was fine until I got to the house. That's when things just went south. I was so embarrassed, by that thing. I was so broken by it. I carried so much shame from that. Gani, I thought that it would, it's fine, I can do this. My partner felt like, I'm not going to do it. I don't think you should do it either. Yes, you owe people to tell them. You're accountable to say, you know what, Lisha's pregnant. But he had very specific ideas about how, he feels like, he was like, I'm not going to take a walk of shame, I did. And then he had to comfort me because now I was so depressed I couldn't get out of bed,
You're from the same church?
We're from the same church, And, I remember that I just kept crying because I was so embarrassed, And then the one thing that I will never forget, and I pray to God that He helps me let it pass, is that, I have friends in church, sisters, whatever, or even Joguti church is supposed to be a family and whatever. But I remember that I didn't even get one phone call from anybody. And I remember how hurt that made me, I felt as though, how? That must have been painful for her, or that was embarrassing for her, or something, yabo. And maybe pick up the phone or send me a text, yabo, to say, hi, Kunjan, Sisi, we love you, yabon. Those messages, nobody, not even the people that I thought I was close to. So yeah, that really, really hurt. It really, really hurt. Such that I feel like I carried that throughout my pregnancy. At some point, I just stopped going. Like, I felt like, I'm not going to come. I'm just not coming. Yabo. And at some point, then I had the baby. When I had the baby, and I knew that, okay, we're going to start going to church again, I remember putting up a status on Facebook. I just wanted to put it out there. I don't want people coming to me and being like, hey, the baby, oh my God. No. Yabon. Bonson go as alange katsaswin. Yabon. Like muyegelen. Yabo. You don't care about me or my baby. Yabo. So leave me alone type thing. Yabo. I will say though that my she pastor, she would check on me, She's not in the country anymore, but she would check on me. She would text me, ask me how I'm doing, I remember when I had the baby, she congratulated me and she came to see the baby and she brought me a gift and everything. Everyone else, no. So I feel like I got like somebody that doesn't even live in this country. Yabo. Cared. She didn't condone my behavior. But my baby is a gift from God. God gave her to me. Yabo. But she celebrated.
JF. Add more flavor.
All of that. No one else did. And I carried a lot of resentment about that. No one called. to say, oh, you're fun.
From church.
No.
Nabantu bovele bakhona ubahlabela all that. Wow.
No, not even one. And I'm not saying this as an attack. I'm just, it's just a matter of fact. They didn't call.
Yo, wow. How did the whole process affect your spirituality, emotionally?
Well, I think my spirituality was already, there was a problem. That's why I fell pregnant, to begin with. Before that, I just want to say, before the whole baby thing, I mentioned that, I'd had issues before, but I always found a way to get back to church, and I never really felt supported, by the church, unless I was adding value in some way. Like, it was like, look, we need you to do this, and that's how I felt. They didn't say that. Then as soon as I wasn't able, or I chose not to do it, I felt like my value diminished, in their eyes. So by the time this happened, I mentioned before that I was thinking that, I'm actually going to go back and serve. It was a need for me. I needed them to accept me and love me, So for that to happen, I needed to go back and sing, because that's what makes them accept me and love me, That's how I felt, But when I had the baby, it was like, you know, maybe let's just, angivenyekile, yabona. Because besolo kungehlula, I couldn't. I've been failing at this Jesus thing, yabo. And I seem to fail in a grandiose fashion. So, I mean, why bother, anymore? Yeah, so I think my spirituality was already shaky. And then on an emotional level, I feel like it was just a lot that I was going through. I didn't know what to do. It was a lot in terms of how now we're having a baby, and I had to tell my parents. It's just a lot of things. And I don't know if you ever feel ready for a baby, It was just a lot. And that's around the time that I started going for therapy, because I wasn't coping. I wasn't coping at all. And what's funny is that I thought I was going to therapy for one thing, but it turned out that my biggest issue, or my biggest issues, came from the community that I belonged to, which is church. So we spent a lot of time talking about that, I discovered certain things. Oh, okay, this made me feel bad, this made me feel this way and stuff like that. So I had to heal all of that, and move on. It's not like, people like, I've heard Christians talk. They will feel like people just go and sin, then they want us to be a part of it and support them. Well, yes. I feel like, yeah, like, who are you going to support?
Yeah.
Because answer the Bible says, mourn with those who mourn, and celebrate with those who are celebrating. Yeah, vele, that's what we do. And also,
That's the church.
yeah, that's the church. That's family. Don't tell me that we're family, but it's like, if you're getting it right, then you're family. If you're not getting it right, that. I feel like that's just hypocritical. Yeah, and the truth is there are a lot of broken people in church, and we try to run away from our responsibility. I feel like the point of life, of existing, is to love people. Have I always loved people the way that I should have? No, I haven't. I've failed sometimes. And this is not I don't know, a parade to say, look at how people are failing. No, I'm just talking about my experience. There was a time that I had a car accident. My car was a wreck. Again, even then, no one said anything. The only people that actually, the only person I think that's consistent in checking on you and whatever would be my pastor. She'll send, but that's the only person. And I feel like, what's the point?
Out of the whole church.
Yeah, it's like, you almost died. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Then we'll celebrate, Gopa, when you sing. Just lead us in worship. Please, just don't die. Just lead us in worship. That's how it feels, So yeah, I think emotionally I was just angry. I had a lot of anger, because of these things. They were built up, And I felt like, we are born. And then I have all sorts of friends, My friends were there for me, The whole time. They even threw me a baby shower, It was like, we're going to celebrate the baby. Do you know what I mean? But there was none of that. And then at some point, I was so angry. I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want anyone touching my baby, saying anything to my baby. I didn't want that because I felt like, oh, you like what comes out of me, but you don't like me, So I had a lot of resentment, and that's stuff that I had to deal with. And therapy really, really, really helped to put things into perspective. Look, there isn't a book or a manual on how we should deal with a worship leader falling pregnant or a worship leader. I understand that, So I'm not here bashing people. It's just my experience and the things that I expected, that that I didn't get. That's all it is. I saw, I hope it's okay to say this. If it's not, please cut it out. I saw a post when I was pregnant by a pastor on Facebook. And he said something like, yes, we love you, even if you fall pregnant, but we're not going to throw you a baby shower, as a church. I then unfollowed him because I felt like, I can't walk with you guys. We're not in agreement. Yeah. Because what does the baby shower have to do with me falling pregnant before I'm married? Understand? What does the baby have to do with that? Like, I don't understand. You feel like if you throw me a baby shower, you'll be saying sin is okay. We never needed anyone to tell us that sin is okay, have sex. We never needed your go ahead anyway. Do you understand? Yeah, so I just...
I think we should have a pastor coming through soon addressing this issue. We'll get one. Yes. Anyways, continuing. Okay, wow. Wow, that's a lot, eh? That's a lot. I'm just thinking, maybe briefly, given a chance, allowing the church maybe to redo maybe what happened, what would you say maybe you wished they had handled the whole pregnancy thing?
Okay.
Just you personally?
Just me personally.
Yeah.
Well, I think I agree with, for instance, announcing to the church because of the position I held in the church, but maybe, and also I want to reiterate, I am the one that said it can be done in any way,
Yeah.
I agreed to it, but I wasn't forced into it. So I feel as though maybe my ownership in this is I should have been more specific. I think it would have been maybe better for me on an emotional level had it had just been announced as opposed to, the whole walk of shame thing, which was really, really hard on me emotionally, I'm okay with the church being told because really I'm wrong. And then I think I would have loved for people, to just call me or send me a WhatsApp message to say, hey sis, that was really brave. We love you. We're praying for you. Stuff like that, Jabon. Because people are capable of doing those things. Yabon. About choose nje kungakwendi, or they didn't. I felt like they didn't care enough, not to do it. People do it even now when they feel like, how ushonepi, we haven't seen you for a while. People call you, just last week Sunday, someone called me to say, hey, I haven't seen you in church for a bit. What's happening? How can I help? People are capable. It's just when it's a situation like that. So I wish people would have called or texted, and I wish there were other people besides my pastor that cared about how I was doing. People will say things like, yeah, sipazing a dead finance. Yes, of course you are. But don't then come and be like, no, we are family. We're not. Because I make time for my family. If I know Gutige, one of my sisters is going through a rough time, I make time for them. I call them. Do you understand all of the things that I do? So I just wish there was a bit more, or there was support in general. I really wish that could have happened. But hey, I learned a lot going through that. First, now I don't expect anything from people. It's agunanzaba yabon. Check on me, don't check on me. But it's affected me negatively also in that I don't really have the heart for church people. Like besang sababali. Ngiyababala as God's sheep. Yabon, we're here together, yabona. When you put umnikelo, mine I sing, yabon. Yabona, that's what we do. This is what I feel like I'm called to do, and I'm gonna do it. Yabon. But I don't hate you, I love you. Yabo, ngikuthanda kakhulu. But I'm not gonna fool myself into thinking that angadi, I have this relationship, yabona, in church. For me, it doesn't exist. Maybe for others it does, and I'm happy for those people, yabon. But that's my attitude now, such that I feel like it's affecting, people might want to create a relationship with you, nyalo, yabon, in church. Angisakhona lokwakha lama relationships because ngiva ngathi ke no, you can't, yabon. I went through A, B, yabon. Awukho yabon. Nyalo, because I don't know ukuthi sekwente again. Maybe I don't know. So vangathi ke lihle, you know, we love you. Angiva ngathi phuma kimi, you know. Yeah. But ngiva ngathi I love you guys, but singena nga 10, phuma nga 1, live our own lives. Yeah. That's how I feel. I don't feel like before ukuthi ke I owe you anything. Angiseva kanjalo. Kanti ngiva ngathi but it has benefits. Yabon, lokuva ngazothi ke, you know, we're brothers and sisters, and I owe you certain things like manguhlonipha. Yabon, there are certain things that I then not do or do in a certain way. Yabo. Nyalo ngiva ngazothi manje ke I'm just gonna live my life. You understand? Yabo. I'm gonna come to church. Yabo. Angeke, you know, it's ridiculous how I look at my life now and I'm like, yabo, this is just ridiculous. There was a time where noma ngabe ngilele ngabo 3, I would go to church. You know, I would make it to church. I would wear the uniform. Yabo, I was, you know, committed. Yabon. Yeah, you can't pay me to go to church. Ngibe ngilele nga 3. You understand? You want to know. Yes, Jesus loves me in my bed and in my house. Yabon. Nasesonfeni, yabon. Like ngiva ngathi kwagamuka lemvo of trying, not only trying, but trying to believing in serving them. Yeah, angat. And I yabon. So I'm hoping God would heal that. But I must say that since I stopped living my life that way, I'm happier. Yabo. There was a time that my baby doesn't really sleep well. So I was tired. Yabo, and I took a momcation. Yabon. I wouldn't think of doing anything like that before. Yabo, because okay, to Hambulala Friday, Saturday, there's rehearsal. Sunday, there's church. Yabo. I knew getting into the momcation thing. I'm not going to any of those things. Yabon, because I need to take care of Lishe. Yabon. I can't let my well-being be up to you anymore. Yabo. Yabo. To the detriment of my mental health. Ganzi, you won't even lift a finger to WhatsApp me hi. I'm not going to do that. That's just how I am now.
Wow. Well, that's really, you know, it's quite eye-opening because some of these things we tend to do them not really to serve God, but we end up impressing our leaders, the church, because of the expectations. Absolutely. But really, when you come close and look at your personal life, you realize that you are not really there. Yeah. You're just doing it because you've been given a position or you're trying to paint whatever picture.
Yeah, and I feel as though, you know, when I get an opportunity to go back, I think I'll be better. Yeah. You know, I'll approach it in a more healthy way. Do you understand? Because lenye imvo is that we are broken people. We come from a broken society. Yeah. So letinye timvo, you find guti you have daddy issues. Go rife lemvoleyo in Swaziland. Guti you didn't really have a good dad and maybe it made you want and need approval from the outside, you know, and people to say, oh, you're doing well, Yabon. And that thing, how it manifested for me, Nje, is Gutige, I would work hard, Yabona. I will extra hard, Yabona, just to make sure I get it right and I'm approved of by, you know. Do you understand, Gusi? That thing doesn't have anything to do with my pastor. It's me, Yabon. And then he has no way of knowing, Gutige, I just need a pat on the back. Yabon. Nami, maybe at the time, mangad. Yabon. So I would work really hard. I would, anything that was new in terms of worship music, I had it, Like I was just that person, yabo. And then, last week my sister was like, "Oh, did you hear William McDowell's new song?" I'm like, "He has a new song." Like I did. She's like, "Oh my God, that's so unlike you." I'm like, "I know," and I laughed, yabon, because ngiva ngathi ke ngide lengom, yabon, ngide nje, yabo. So I feel like maybe angikahle njena ngingakayiva mangiva, I'll feel like that. She even sent me some Vashon song. She's like, "Did you listen to this?" I'm like, "No, fine, yabon." For the first time, I don't have to, yabon. I'm whole. I don't need any approval, yabon.
You make your own choice.
I make my own choice. If I can't come to church, yabon, it's just that I can't come. I can't. And angi default. Yabon. Game kumcoka lokho. Yabon. Because ngiva ngazuthi leli joke belingihleli la. Ngingakabekwa ngimumvu mhlambe ngidibekile yabo. Loku meet kwangisita lokuthi ngifike la. Because also, this is what I believe in. I say this all the time. I heard Dr. Phil say it. Go to the strongest role model in a child's life is the same-sex parent. So there are certain things, I think, do I want my daughter to emulate this? No. But I must go to the house of the Lord. No, sissy. The house of the Lord is wherever you are. Rest. Do you understand? So that's how it's affected me. I don't know if it's satanic or whatever. If it's satanic.
Wow. Lisa, thank you so much. You've shared really, really deep stuff. And, personally, I'm really happy that you are getting better and you are getting a chance to just focus on you, because it doesn't help to do everything else while you're not in the right space.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for sharing with us. We'll definitely have you again, because I'm sure after this segment, many people will want to come through and just have a conversation with their experiences.
Okay, I want to say one last thing. This is my story. It's not meant as an attack or anything. I feel like I have a right to my story. You have a right to your own story. And then, I just want to say, as Christians, we need to stop assuming that if Pindo is doing something wrong, he is proud of it. We need to stop assuming that. Mangabe ukholwa, yabona, usenzisiwe. It's not nice to watch yourself keep getting it wrong. There's nothing more painful, because you're living in a way that is not your nature anymore. Yabon. Like, auntie were born with a sinful nature. Then when Jesus came into our hearts, we have the nature of God. But our physical bodies and everything are still trying to catch up to that reality. Yabon. Akusiko mnanzi. Bamfu bayathanda ukuthi ke lo muntu maka busy lapha bekajabulile, yabona. Maybe ngijabulile kwesikhashana. But it's not nice, yabo. What is great is that if mina ngibona ukuthi yadiphindo shame is not getting it right, yabona. I can't, Pindo already knows that he's not doing the right thing. akukusithi lokhu singifike ngithi manje ke ngoba wena vele uyalihlazisa livangeli ngcono uvele uyekele like when wangibani manager wasezulwini ukuthi laba ngakhona abaphumi like ubekwe ngibani wena yabona but ngiva ngazothi manje ke my job as your sister if I want to call myself your sister my job then becomes reminding you who you are and calling you by your actual name. Do you understand what I mean? Ngiva ngazothi mina ke mangabe umumfu uphena ukumbona uyabo ukuthi hayi yathi uyabhuqa nawo uyabo uyabhuqa I speak what is not appearing yabo in this world uyabona but I speak the things that I know are inside lo mumfu yabo I speak the end from the beginning yabona. There's a story that one of my favorite pastors once shared. He went to a church and he prophesied to this guy, random guy. You're a preacher, you're a teacher of the word, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't know this guy. Mabaphuma, angibafundisi bayaphuma babe botfan. Story for another day. Bese yabo. Then bayambuta ukuthi efana uyamatlo guy lo yakuthi he's a drug addict. He's a horrible person. Yabona. This guy's like, no, but that's what I saw. Years later, he meets a guy at an airport. Yabon. And he's like, do you remember me? He's like, no. Yabon. It was that guy. That guy was addicted to drugs, but this man of God spoke to who he was. Yabon. I feel like if we can speak to who people are, we'll be really shocked. Yabon. People know when they're messing up. We know. We know very well. We don't need you to. We know. So I just want to encourage people. Because manjage, loving people means calling them by their name, their real name, not what you're saying, you know. And I'm not great at this, but when my time is up, like if I should leave your life, I always want to be remembered by Guts Manjage. I loved well, and so my experiences helped me in that way. Asesiyekele lokuthi sibebo deputy Jesus. Just calm down. Don't be the first person to laugh. Mangabe kukuthi ke there's a story in the paper in yabo, and then act as though lo mfu uthakasile. Yabona. That thing can break you. Yabona. Cause already nawe umangala nabo bonke labamangala ukuthi yabona ngenwe yini. Yabona. And then suddenly the world knows. My job is to talk to who you really are and never, like lo angunaki, I speak to who I know you to be. So that's what I would like to say.
Wow, thank you so much. Well, viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. We had Lihle. I hope you had a good time with us. We'll keep on giving you the best, and we want you to join in the conversation. Comment below, contact us. We'll have our details in the description. Otherwise, this is Spiritual Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Add more flavor.